start off the same way we always do with the housekeeping item here of the minutes from the April meeting. We didn't meet last month, so I'll entertain a motion, or if anybody has any questions, comments, deletions, additions to the minutes from the April meeting. Speak now or forever hold your peace. But I will entertain a motion to accept those if you so choose.
Yeah, motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion.
I second.
All right, a motion and a second to accept the minutes from the April 22nd meeting. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. All right, item number 2. Public hearing requesting approval from 9.3.3 special exemptions to allow 10% reduction on the 25-foot setback requirements, making it 22.5 feet on lots 76 and 77 in an R1 for property located at South Quincy Avenue of Sunrise Estates. Submitted by Dave Garza and Barrett Associates. Kevin, you got a staff report on that?
The report before you really just paraphrases the subject property as you just stated. The zoning is R2, it's single-family detached zoning. Basically, the legal setback in this zone for front yard to building is 25 feet, and they're requesting 23 and a half. So you have about a 1.5 foot deviation. And that's really based on the dimensions of the property in relation to the curvature of the right-of-way and the way the road curves sort of forces a slight encroachment of portions of the front building envelope into that.
Heavy on the word slight, right?
That's correct, sir. That would be a technical term, yes, sir.
Right.
So these provisions found in 933 subitem 5 of your zoning regulations basically state varying the requirements contained in the area requirements for the table in Article 8 by no more than 10% of the numerical standard when it can be demonstrated that such action will not be harmful to the public welfare. And that is it for your report. There are a few graphics in there if you'd like to peruse those, and the applicant's representative, I believe, is here.
Okay. All right, Dave, you got anything to add to that? Or Morgan, whoa.
Oh.
State your name for the record, stranger.
My name's Morgan Barrett. Going to be representing this application. The variance request is actually 2.5 feet of the setback. The lots in question, when the builders laid out their setback lines, pulled a straight line, and the road and the actual property line is a curvature towards the property. So when they pulled their lines and measured off of a straight line, it wasn't coincident with the actual property line that curved into the property. So there's actually a 2.4 foot encroachment right now. And so the request is for that 10%, which would be 2.5 feet, which gives us about a 1/10. So it's really close to what is allowed. Kind of looks like it may have been intentional, but if you see the graphics, you can see how that straight line deviates from the actual property line between the two property corners. And we have taken, the developer, we kind of made him aware of this potential on some other lots to make sure it doesn't happen on some of the other lots that will be built on.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Morgan before he steps in?
Yeah, so there's other lots on there that could have the same problem, but he's aware of it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Have we had any complaints or any concerns from any of the, I mean, I'd be surprised if we would, but I mean, what's the next one?
office day-to-day. I have not received any, Ms. Jones, if you find issues, call.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Your report does mention 23 and a half feet in lieu of 25. According to the applicant, it's 22 and a half in lieu of 25 for the record.
Okay. All right, what's your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second to approve this request. All those in favor acknowledge by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. Okay. All right, next, item number 3, public hearing requesting approval for a variance to allow a building to front yard setback 9.9 feet in lieu of required 20 feet for a single-family structure in the R3 zone located at 1015 North Cleveland, submitted by Kevin Bortz. Did I pronounce that right? Okay, all right, okay. Kevin, you got a staff report on that?
Briefly, the setback variance, according to the applicant, is of course a front yard building to property line setback of 9.9 feet in lieu of the required 20. That's for the primary structure that's currently there. There's also an accessory structure on the north side of the lot that's technically 5.3 feet. It's 5.3 feet now. Its required setback for the accessory structure to the setback is actually 6 feet. So there's fractions of feet on the side technically for an accessory structure. The current use is multifamily in a way. It's actually a boarding house or group quarters by definition. It's been that way for quite some time. It's probably been that way prior to the adoption of our current zoning regulations according to the property owner now. And it is an allowed use in the R3 zone. Essentially, this is a conversion. It's an interior renovation. There isn't going to be a change in use, but there is going to be a substantial amount of investment in terms of dollars placed into this, what would appear to be a non-conforming use based on today's regs if you were to hold them to the current zoning setbacks and bulk and area regulations. So the entire parcel, if you look at your graphic, it's roughly a quarter of an acre. And they want to, it's currently improved, according to the assessor, about a 3,300 square foot structure. I think the applicant said it was closer to 3,500, but there's a 400 square foot accessory structure. And again, you have in your report the setback requests in relation to those structures. I wanted to bring your attention real quick to the proposed improvement sections of your report. It basically details what the applicant is looking to do. They're going to invest quite a bit of money into upgrading that existing structure. According to their application, they want to put roughly $114,000 into it during its first phase. And then there's going to be a second phase. They're not sure when that might occur. The applicant is here to sort of elaborate onto that. But the thing that you really need to be aware of as a board of the zoning adjustments is what the regulations say in terms of, you know, in what cases are you allowed to approve something that's non-conforming. And so there are several sections in your regulations from section 7.2 for non-conforming structures. The first one is such structure upon approval of the Board of Adjustments may be remodeled to maintain the premises in a safe and usable condition. So if right now there is an unsafe or unusable condition, let's just say it's a public safety hazard right now, you're allowed to deviate if it's a public safety concern. There's another, on 7.2.2, there's another provision that says, should a structure be destroyed by any means to the extent of more than 50% of its replacement cost at the time of destruction, it shall not be reconstructed except in conformity with the provisions of the zoning code. I only bring this up because, again, this is a willful interior renovation. There's not necessarily a mandatory destruction of it. There's not an act of God going on, but based on the application, if they're going in and they're going to destroy or demo the interior even by more than 50%, it's again, that's a threshold that you all have to consider relative to today's setbacks. And then you have 7.2.3, which says such structure upon the approval of the Board of Adjustments may be added to, so that we're talking about an exterior expansion, if said addition meets the area requirements of the land use zoning. So essentially, it holds them to the lines. They can't expand the footprint and encroach any further. So those are the provisions you have before you. The rest of the report pretty much spells out those different uses and the regulations with respect to parking if it comes in before staff for administrative review. We did make a note that we would consider applying the bed and breakfast or motel parking standards where it's based on a per bedroom because of the nature of the use. But there really isn't a parking standard for rooming or boarding house. So that was the closest one we could find, and that was based on my conversation with Mr. Holstein, the building official. And that's it for the report.
Brian, what's your take on it?
Just allow me to make one correction. The accessory building is not non-conforming. Its requirement is 5-foot setback, not 6-foot. R3, the side yard setback for the single-family residence is 6 foot, but for a detached accessory building is 5 feet. So it is non-conforming on the primary structure, it's just not non-conforming on the secondary, on the accessory.
Anybody have any questions for Kevin before he steps down? This is a public hearing. Anybody has any questions or any comments at all? Please feel free to step up to the mic and get it off your chest. Okay? All right. Thank you, Kevin. Do you want to step up and make a comment at all about this?
Again, my name's Kevin Bortz. Bought the property in late December. I've got a couple girls over here at Arkansas Tech that gonna just kind of remodel it. It's a rough building, so trying to get it back up to par to where it's livable again.
You've already started on it from what I can see.
Yes, I have, yeah. So we have, when you look at it, it looks like it was added to over the years. So what I'm looking at doing is taking and making it a front porch again. Took the deck off the top part, I think where they had some access to the rooms upstairs, kind of a hazard. So initially, I'm expecting just to have the 3 bedrooms downstairs done by hopefully August 1st for the girls to move in. And then the top part will be a 3 bedroom. It was originally going to be 4 bedroom, but with the stairs, it could only be, we had to lose a room. So it'll be 3 bedrooms, and that should be done and completed by August of next year when June of next year when the new contracts roll over for the kids, so. And then there's a back part, about 500 square foot on the back part that they tried to add that I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with those, but those are really gonna be storage for right now.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Have you been there, Brian? You're all right with everything?
It's non-conforming, we've got a lot of area in town, when urban development came in, their setbacks were too close. And so revitalization to a building is, to me, is, I'm not trying to be spoken for anyone, but I believe that rehab to an existing building is definitely worth looking at. Basically, just like our city planner said, the intent is not to tear this building down if possible, if you got possible.
Yeah, better than ending up with another dilapidated structure. I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve this variance. All those in favor, acknowledge by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carried. And there's no other business. We're adjourned. Appreciate you saying yes, sir. There you go. We'll see you.
Oh, really?
Can't even do that in peace, can you?
No. There's no hiding anymore.
Just very good.